NHL Nightly with your host, the sportsman, a.k.a. Peter Lebowski, a.k.a. Jeremiah Maxwell. And with him, as always, maybe Pearlo, Wisdom, and Rico in Barry. And also Occupancy, because it's an Occupancy Monday, where we're going to talk a shitload of gambling. What's going on, guys? So I gave you guys some talking points, but let me just get right into the intro. Welcome to NHL Nightly. I'm your host, Jeremiah Maxwell. With me, as always, is Pearlo, Wisdom, Rico, and Barry. And on Mondays, we get our good friend Occupancy. We've got all four corners of the world covered. I'm in Alaska. Occupancy's in Cali. Rico's in Ontario. And Pearlo's in Alberta. We got two games on tonight. Canucks versus Kings. That's 1-1. And the Golden Knights and St. Louis Blues, great game. The big news out of that St. Louis Blues game, sawed out because of the hit, and also Sundqvist. So they started the game with 11 forwards. They're down to 9 forwards. So they only have 3 lines worth of forwards for the Blues. Probably less confusing on the bench for the guys changing lines, but to play Vegas's average defensive player is 6'3", 213. That's their average size. Unbelievable. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. Anyway, thank you for joining us. We already got a good number of people. We're live on Twitch, Twitter, a.k.a. X, Instagram, and also on this YouTube channel here, if you happen to be watching us on that. So we appreciate you. I had some talking points for you guys. First, we'll just go right into it. We didn't really talk a lot about it. I thought he deserved every bit he got. Tom Wilson got 6 games. We kind of really didn't talk about that on Thursday because I don't know if the suspension had been handed down or anyway. What are your thoughts on that suspension? I didn't find a reasonable person saying it was unjustified. I actually thought that was probably the right amount, honestly. I don't know. I know I saw some people going, he should have got way more, but he hadn't been suspended in 3 years. He hadn't had a stick infraction suspension at all. So, and I guess this is per Jason Gregor. Noah Gregor is Jason Gregor's nephew, if you didn't know that. I didn't. He said that he talked to him and he said, no, he was really apologetic. He only chipped a fake tooth that was his, and he said so it didn't hurt or anything. He said, yeah, he was really like right away, man, I'm so sorry, like he didn't mean to do it. But I mean, when you watched it live and in slow motion, it looked awful. So anyway, give us your thoughts and we'll get to it here. Anyone?
I'll go. Yeah, no worries, man. From listening to the media in Toronto, it sounded like he cracked his whole teeth and his whole mouth and everything. So, I mean, if you put it that way, and that's the true end of the story, I mean, it could have been a lot worse. I don't know what led to it. I know he hit Gregor from behind a little bit, then he kind of held on to him a bit. And I don't know, Gregor's back was turned in a lot of the replays. So sometimes, something could have came out of Gregor's mouth too, and you don't know that. Maybe he just said something and it maybe just made him snap and made him do something that he regretted, because you could tell Wilson was like, what the hell did I just do? And kind of trying to hold him and kind of just console him a little bit after they did it. It's like, oh, okay, man, sorry, I just snapped there or something. So, I mean, going back to the Morgan Rielly, you got 5 games. I would have took Riley Grieg's face off if you're only getting 5 and Wilson was getting 6 for this on a repeat offender. So
yeah, I'll be honest with you, Rico. I think if Wilson had never been suspended, he might have got a game. Because Jacob Trouba had the accidental slash where he looked like he was losing his balance, and you still got to be control your stick or whatever, and they fined him. So, but Wilson has been suspended 5 other times, including a 20-game suspension. So that definitely factored in. So
yeah, this looked like more of a careless act than the Trouba one. The Trouba one, was a high stick and he swung it, but it looked like he didn't mean to kind of do it as much as Wilson did here. So I thought it was a little bit light, but I mean, 6 games, I just feel bad for the Capitals. Well, not because they're playing so well and they're in the playoffs right now, but they're going to be without him for for 6 games, it sucks. But I mean, if that's what Gregor said and he was apologetic about it and bygones, it just looks horrible. Like from somebody just watching it and seeing that looks violent, man. And he caught him like right in the mouth swinging the stick. So I mean, it's
you gotta be
act, but
you gotta be controlling your stick. So there's no,
as long as nice to hear he's not badly hurt. And, that's at the end of the day, you just don't want anybody getting recklessly hurt like that from a swinging stick. So it is what it is. I mean, the Caps are going to miss him, but that's kind of my thought on it. And
Did any of you else want to talk about it? We have a lot of topics, so we don't have to. We were a little bit late to the boat on it. I thought the whole time, if anybody was watching my Twitter, he deserves a suspension. Like I talked to Hot Take Hockey a little bit. His video, he did a 7-minute on it. I truly don't think he did it on purpose. But I just think he was being careless with his stick. So it is what it is.
I think it was a complete brain fart. I think he was behind the play and he was trying to kind of grab him, and it's almost like he forgot he had a stick in his hand or something.
That's what it looked like too.
That's what it looked like to me. Like he forgot that his stick was there. He was just trying to grab him. It was just like, sometimes you just have a complete brain fart, but you can't judge what somebody's mind is. And it looked really bad. So you got to give him a lot. And I kind of feel bad for him in a little bit, but it is what it is. It looked like he purposely did it, but and like you said, I don't think he did actually purposely do it.
Paul, like he was right away, like, oh man, I'm so sorry, like right away. If you watch it in slow motion, it looks awful, but if you watch it in real time, he's like, I thought he was also trying to chip towards the puck, but he was far away. The angle of the camera is weird too. That doesn't really give you the depth perception of what was going on in the corner there. So, but yeah, he rubbed Gregor out, which I didn't think there was any problem with that. But again, it's one of those things where thank God Gregor's not going to miss any time, or you got a double minor in the game, by the way. This wasn't an uncalled thing. Like Trouba's didn't get called during the game or anything. So anyway, Occupancy, did you have anything? By the way, they arrested Sean P. Puff Daddy Combs too.
He was fleeing on his private jet.
Was he really?
Yeah, he left, was going to Cuba or Dominican or something. I just saw the post. But on the Wilson play, I kind of agree with Pearlo. I don't think he did it on purpose. It looked like kind of accidental, but again, you can't really got to control your stick. If I was commissioner, I would have handed down a fine and a 2-gamer.
So it's the DPOS, Department of Player Safety, George Peros, that does all the suspensions.
Yeah.
But I found it interesting that the league not going to appeal on Wilson's behalf. So I think it tells you what the Players Association thinks of Tom, and he needs to clean it up. Now, look, 3 years, he didn't have any incidents, anything big. So it's okay. Capes, what are you doing? Sorry. Sorry about that little dog interlude. But so yeah, they're not going to and he's already served 2. But yes, Cavs are in the playoff mix here, and they're going to be without one of their best players. It's absolutely atrocious. And I think the guys in that Capitals room love Tom Wilson, but like, dude, I think he can't have this again. Like this cannot be, he cannot have any more of these incidents. So real quick, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Thank you always for popping in right away. Lucy, I was going to tell you, if you ever actually get interested in the Stars, there's no team that's drafted better. And we always neglect to say Jim Nill used to be the assistant GM with the Detroit Red Wings forever. And the Detroit Red Wings were known. It's no coincidence that Detroit hasn't been good since he's been gone. They would always find these gems in the 3rd and the 4th round. And that's exactly what's happening with the Dallas Stars. I don't think there's a team that's drafted better. Dallas looks amazing. And when they can get rid of those albatross contracts, I'm not saying get rid of the players because they may keep Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin beyond. But once they ain't paying those 2 guys $18 million, look out, world. Like, if I'm a Dallas Stars fan, if we don't win it this year, no big deal. They got a lot of time left there, I think. So it's going to be real interesting to see how they do in the playoffs here. Okay, let's go to the next topic here. Did you guys look at the Stanley Cup odds after this weekend? The two favorites are New York and Colorado at 750 to 1. I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that and see what you were thinking.
I think New York is in it because they're going to get a lot of value out of it at 750 because it's a bigger market. That's what I think. That's the reason why they're number one. Although, I mean, don't get me wrong, they got a very good team, but I mean, Florida is the beast of the East, really. I would say that would have to be my pick for the East, but that's really why Colorado makes total sense the way they're going right now. I could definitely see them being the top in the West, but I think New York more has to do with the value you can get out of it. If it's a big market like that, people will buy into it, or even the fact that they're actually buying into it. But for my money, I think Florida has got to be the top seed in the Eastern Conference. What do you think, Occupancy?
I mean, I agree with you. I think in terms of the Florida angle, the Rangers have more points, and these odds always adjust on like recent matchups. I think so. Rangers just beat Florida in that 4-3 game over the weekend, so I kind of see why the Rangers, have that 750. Colorado is just, they're a big market, as Beard said, fan favorite. So I also understand why they're leading the West.
Yeah, did you guys watch, before Rico gives his thoughts, did you guys watch that Colorado Pittsburgh game? Pittsburgh straight dominated them for 2 periods. It was the best 2 periods I've seen from the Penguins all year. And if I had the ability to bet, I would have live bet the Colorado Avalanche the whole time, and they win 5-4. Nate Dogg keeps the streak alive. We're going to talk about that. Rico, give us your thoughts on the Stanley Cup favorites.
Yeah, so funny you mentioned that game. I was on a call with Pearlo during that Pittsburgh Colorado game, and we were both on the Avalanche. I was on the Avalanche team total pre-game. It's like, oh God, here we go. So next thing you know, I see the odds pop up. I'm like, holy shit, Pearlo, it's plus 800 for the Avalanche to come back and score and win this game. And I think it was around 4-1 or something at that point. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to throw money on it right now, plus 800, and they managed to come back and win. So yeah, I'm well aware of that game. Yeah, the thing that scares me is, I mean, Pittsburgh, we knew Pittsburgh was going to fade in that game. There's no way they could have kept that pace with the Avalanche. I mean, going back and forth with Colorado, they just flipped the switch and decided, okay, no more playing around here, Crosby. I'm taking over. But going back to the Stanley Cup winners.
Real quick, though, before that game, the last 4 games against Pittsburgh, or 3, Colorado had been outscored. I think before they had scored in the third period, they'd been outscored 8-0 against Pittsburgh. Home or away, they just haven't played them well, which is odd.
Yeah, because they play them once or twice a year.
No, I know, but Colorado's been Colorado all year. Now, obviously, early in the season, they didn't have Middlestat and Walker and the Trennan and the other players they traded for. But I think Pittsburgh beat them 4-0 in Pittsburgh. So it's, sometimes the team just has another team's number. It was just odd that, and then Nate Dogg wasn't having it. Huh?
No, he just took over that game. I mean, it's funny. I don't think Rantanen got a point either in that game. So, I mean, just goes to show the depth, and Drouin just burnt Letang in overtime as well, too. And that's just, anyway, yeah. So, I mean, going with those Stanley Cup odds, they seem like they're changing every week to 10 days, and there's 4 of them at the top. Even on my betting site, it's got Carolina and Florida tied for the best odds, and then Colorado, then Edmonton. So you got those 4 with Dallas and the Rangers, Bruins and Leafs, and Canucks, and Golden Knights.
This was a Bet 360, and I agree agree with what you're saying as far as the bets changing and the odds changing. I don't think the Leafs are 15-1 odds just based on how great they looked against Edmonton. They straight beat their ass in that game. They out physicaled them. I mean, it was 5-0. I know Edmonton kind of got back into it late, but I mean, it wouldn't be a Leafs game if that wasn't the case. But I thought Toronto beat their ass for two solid. It was the best game I've seen from the Leafs as far as the level of talent, and they just Joel Edmondson like just working it. I was messaging back with Hot Take Hockey, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, this Leafs team could win a Stanley Cup if they play like this." Like I just was impressed. And I say that because if Edmonton's a Stanley Cup contender, then so is Toronto. Just my opinion.
I mean, from night to night, you're like, oh my God, Dallas is going to win the cup. Then you're like, oh my God, Florida, they're going to win the cup. Oh my God, Carolina, look at this, man. Look at this team. In Colorado goes to sleep for a period and a half, and they did decide to take over the game. And then, man, Ekholm's a beast in Edmonton, and Florida's banged up a little bit right now about Barkov and Forsling and Ekblad. So, I mean, once the playoffs start, man, you got a little handful of teams, and like, what's Colorado thinking right now? Do they want to play Nashville and win the Central, or do they want to play Winnipeg and slip into the second hole or the third hole in that Central? Like, who wants to play Nashville right now? Who, like, maybe throw a couple bucks on the Predators to
they're gonna beat somebody in the first round. I'm telling you.
4,000 plus 4,000 you can get Nashville to win the cup right now. And UC Saros gets hot, and Roman Yossi's popping in an assist a game like he's been putting money in my wallet all year long. First line with Nyquist and O'Reilly. You can tell, there's a lot of quality in the playoffs as long as you stay healthy and you don't get key injuries to key guys. And you go into the playoffs playing for something like the Nashville Predators have been. Those are the teams that you got to kind of watch out for.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, and that I want to jump right into talking about, all these things we're seeing happen on the ice with like we had 250 goal scorers. Obviously, Matthews is already at 58, but 2 other 50 goal scorers. So we have 3 on the year. In Hyman and Reinhart, that was pretty cool. Hyman becomes the 3rd oldest guy in the history of the NHL to have his 50-goal season. I think Johnny Busick did it when he was like 35 or something. So I thought that was really cool. Obviously, Reinhart getting his. And then McDavid is, 9 away from 100 assists. He'll be the 4th player to do that. That's pretty cool. Love to talk about that. Subhuman Gaucho, thank you for coming in, man, and cheers to you too. Appreciate you very much. That's in your neck of the woods, Gaucho, right? That's Jim Rome's alma mater, UC Santa Barbara. Gauchos, right? UC Santa Barbara, I think, is the Gaucho, right? I hope that's what the reference is. And so, yeah, let us know you got winning the cup in the chat there. Thanks, Pearlo. I just wanted to ask you guys of all these milestones, and then who you think might win the Hart Trophy. It's just a 3-person race right now, but really, I think, and just in fairness, you guys know my marital status and what my wife likes. I have to say, man, the Rangers have been without Trouba for quite a while now. Now they're without Lindgren. They have really their play has not dropped. I know Gustafsson is now out for them. I expect them to take a little bit of a step back here with all the defensive injuries, but they have played so well. Keandre Miller. And then Artemi Panarin has like 30 some odd more points than the next guy on his team. Unbelievable year he's having. He's not getting the accolades because of Nathan McKinnon is 35 straight games with it's already the second most with a point, at least a point at home. The record is held by the great one who has 40. He did it in all 40 games he played in that year because they only played 80 at that time. So Nathan McKinnon could tie Wayne Gretzky for most. He would pass him by days, but obviously Gretzky couldn't do anything about it. So okay, thank you, Subhuman Gaucho. I got you. That makes sense. You're from Detroit area. That's awesome. Red Wings are in the thick of it. So anyway, I just wanted to we'll start with you, Rico, and just talk about your MVP, just all these cool races, really, just to discuss. Like, we're gonna see a bunch of hockey first, and we also, I wrote this down. We're gonna, if all these guys, McDavid, Kucherov, and McKinnon hit over 130 points, that'll be the first time since 1993. Kind of interesting factoid about 1993, they actually played 84 regular season games. But yeah, and Suboob and Gocho, your picks of Panthers and Knights aren't that off base from this group. We like both those teams, and we could see them doing something. Vegas, of course, had a really tight game with the Blues, 1-0 with about 10:45 to go, and we're about halfway through the LA Kings Vancouver Canucks game, and that's 1-1. Anyway, we'll try to keep you updated on those scores. Rico, just go ahead and talk about what we're seeing in the hockey history here.
Yeah, man. I mean, as far as the 250 goal scorers, like Hyman and Reinhart, talk about two players that came to 50 goals like in two different ways, right? I mean, Reinhart was the second overall pick in 2014, and Hyman was a late round pick by those same Florida Panthers as well too. One of them was, severely gifted, being drafted 2 overall. Another guy prided himself on hard work. So it's kind of cool, the story that these two players took to get 50 goals, which is interesting about that 2014 draft too. I remember Ekblad went first, Reinhart, and Sam Bennett went fourth. So 3 of the top 4 picks are playing on the same team right now from the 2014 draft. Just kind of cool. As far as the races are unbelievable. Like, you could even talk about the coach of the year. Like, if you can give some of these things to at least 3 of these people, just to have to name one coach of the year, then even one. I mean, the Art Ross is going to come down to, Kucherov and McKinnon probably too. And then the MVP, like the Hart, you could probably give it to 3 or 4 guys as well too. So, I mean, McKinnon's probably going to be the odds-on favorite to win it. But I know Kucherov should be getting a lot more discussion than he has been as well too. Matthews, maybe if he would have hit 70, but I think it's going to be McKinnon that takes that home. The only other award that kind of makes me laugh a little bit is the Rookie of the Year. I know Jason Demers on Twitter made a big thing about Brock Faber getting it, and with Jared Spurgeon out, he's been playing in every situation for the Wild, and he should be doing it. First defenseman, rookie, 40 points, and how long or whatever. And he got squashed for that. I know, I mean, looking at the odds, it's minus 5,000 for Bedard and plus 1,100 for Faber. So, I mean, I think everybody knows who's going to be the Rookie of the Year, so that's probably not going to be a race. But as far as coach of the year goes, I mean, Spencer Carberry is emerging as well too. If Washington makes the playoffs, you got to throw his name in the hat as well too, because a lot of those coach of the year awards don't go on sustained excellence. Like, you're not going to see like a Paul Maurice or, the guy in Boston, Montgomery, or, the Vegas coach, what's his name there from the Boston guy. You're not going to probably see him get it. Yeah, you're going to see like a Rick Tocchet, a team that wasn't supposed to be there. Probably the Nashville coach as well too. He might get some consideration as well. So, I mean, that's another one where you could probably name 3 guys on right off the bat to get coach of the year. And unfortunately, there's only one of them that wins it.
Yeah, I was just wanting to talk about the MVP race specifically. I'm sorry I didn't make that clear. As you went through the entire awards, I was like, oh, shit, I should let them know. Because I want Pearlo and Occupancy to get a chance here, because we have 12 games to preview tomorrow.
Oh, no.
Significant ones. So go ahead and talk about the MVP races. I know, Pearlo, we talked a little bit about this on Thursday. You're a big Kucherov fan and how many more points he has than the next guy. And there's a lot of arguments for that. And he could end up winning the Art Ross, as he is leading right now the NHL in points. Go ahead, Pearlo. Give us your quick thoughts there, and then toss it to Occupancy, and we'll.
When you go by the letter of what they're saying, like what the MVP is, like what it is, you got to kind of ask yourself. Like, I kind of agree with you with Panarin. Where are the Rangers without Panarin this year? Like, yeah, they could easily miss the playoffs. Kucherov has had points on, out of all the goals that Tampa Bay has scored, he's had a point on over 50% of those goals.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. That's
like
ridiculous.
That's incredible, man.
Yeah.
Where would Tampa Bay would not be in the playoffs without Kucherov? Not even close. You might be able to make a case that the Rangers could, I suppose. I highly doubt it, but I don't. And without McKinnon, I think Colorado could probably sneak in, but without Kucherov, Tampa Bay would be done. So if you're going by the letter of the law of what it means to be most valuable to your team, I think it has to be Kucherov. And I don't know why he's not getting more love than he is. Maybe it's because it's a Florida team. I mean, he's not like the most likable, I guess. I hear like he's not the most likable guy in the world. Apparently, I don't mind him. I don't see anything wrong with him, but that's what I'm hearing. But if you give it to McKinnon, yeah, you can't really argue either. Like you just brought up an incredible stat for McKinnon too. You got like 3 or 4 guys here that are putting up incredible numbers and doing incredible things. And at the end of the day, like whoever you choose, I'm not going to argue too much. But if I was voting, I think I'd have to go with Kucherov based on what the most valuable player to your team is supposed to be. It would seem to me that he would be that.
Go ahead, Occupancy.
Yeah, no, all really good points here. Just on the Hyman and Reinhart thing, you know, when you look back to the summer and think, you know, who was going to be the top 3 goal scorers, I don't think anyone would have had those 2 guys on the list. So it's really a testament, I think, to the team, you know, around them, because they're, you know, you got all-stars and McDavid and Draisaitl setting up Hyman, and they elevate their game to a new level. So I love seeing it, really do. And same thing in Florida. And these guys are, you know, it's really cool to see, really is, because again, I don't think anyone would have had them in the top 10 goal scorers over the summer. So we got that. In terms of the MVP race, you know, I was actually wondering the same stat that Pearlo said with like, who's most involved in the goals scored for the team? And like that 50% Kucherov stat is crazy. And like, to me, that probably gives it to him. I was wondering what that number would be for Pasternak. Kind of feels like maybe he's got his hand in a lot of those Boston goals. You know, he's pretty valuable to that club. You know, but it's hard to go too low on these lists. Like, you know, you're looking past the top 10 in points. It's going to be pretty tough to make an argument for them. The only one that kind of stood out to me was maybe a Sebastian Aho, but you know, because I think he's really important to the team. But I really think it's going to be hard to get away from that top 5 when we're talking MVP. Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, since Occupancy was giving, the LA Kings have gone up 2-1 on a power play goal. So thank you for those thoughts, Occupancy. Really appreciate it. Let's get to the bulk of why we have 20 people in the YouTube, 15 people on the X, a partridge in a pear tree on Instagram. And I don't know about Twitch because I don't have that feed, but we appreciate you if you show up. Oh, yeah. Let's start with the game of the day. I think going to be a fun one. There's a lot of unbelievable games, actually, guys, like every game here. Let me just go through all the games here so I don't forget one. Bruins, Panthers, awesome. Flyers, Rangers, are you kidding me? Hurricanes, Penguins, Jake Gensel's return, awesome. Capitals, Red Wings, probably the most important game for the Capitals. I know I say this every week. Okay. Devils, Maple Leafs. Devils aren't completely dead. They're playing good. Leafs want to bounce back. I thought they played a good game against Carolina on a back-to-back after beating Edmonton. Golden Knights, Preds. That's a huge game. Golden Knights got to keep winning. They're winning right now, and I think they'll probably end up closing out this game. It looks like a 1-0 final. Oilers, Jets. Flames, Blackhawks, and then Canadians, Avalanche. Blue Jackets, Coyotes, okay. Ducks, Kraken, and then Stars, Sharks. So really no. Hey, Gorgon, nice to see you too, man. Hope you're doing well there in Toronto. Okay. Yeah, just let's start with, we're getting Rico back here. Oh, did the Kings just score again? The Kings just scored again to go up 3-1. Was that Quentin Byfield maybe? So the Kings are up 3-1 now. Though I could say this right now, and I don't think Pearlo would disagree with you. I don't think Occupancy would, and I sure don't think Rico would. We need to see Thatcher Demko back, a healthy Thatcher Demko for this Vancouver Canucks, or they're going to have this unbelievable season, and it's going to go bye-bye in the first round. I don't want to see them without him. So,
he will be back. Demko will be back, but give some credit to LA here too. They got Arvidsson back in the lineup, and he was a huge miss.
Yeah.
And now you can just balance out their top three lines a little better with Arvidsson back in the lineup. That was a key guy out. Just it knocked off the whole balance of that team. It seemed like wasn't all the excuse, but that was a big guy to get back for them.
No, I totally agree, Rico. You couldn't put it better myself. Okay, so Bruins Panthers. Bruins are a plus 110 road dog. I mean, if you want to give me money, I'll take it. I mean, I haven't liked how the Panthers have been playing. Now they won yesterday and they had a pretty convincing win. But Pearlo, what do you think here about this game? And then we'll just go around the horn.
Oh man, yeah. You got to think Florida's going to wake up here sooner or later. Like they kind of been in a little bit of the doldrums as of late. It's hard to make a pick here, though.
You don't have to take it.
I think. Well, I think I can. I think what I would do here is, if Florida wants to get correct again, I think they're going to do it on defense. They've been one of the best defensive teams in the league, and Boston may win this game, but I don't think they're going to shoot out the lights against Florida. It's going to be a tough, hard-fought game. It's going to be like a playoff atmosphere, I would imagine, because both of them could play each other in the playoffs, depending on how everything works out. So I think it's going to be tight. I think they're both going to be up for it, but I think I would more lean the under than the side here. I like the under. I don't think there's going to be too many goals scored in this game.
Okay. Rico, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way, Pearlo, because Boston has Tampa the very next night as well, too. So you don't kind of want to run and gun knowing that you got the Lightning the next night as well. I mean, but Boston is coming off a couple losses. Florida's coming off a win against Philly as well. Two teams that are the top two teams in their division. So this will be a playoff type game. I'd probably take a lean on the draw here. I want to see if Barkov or Forsling or Ekblad are back as well too, because those are big injuries for Florida right now. So I'll probably take a look at it closer to game time. But if I were to take it, I wouldn't mind taking Boston here, depending on what type of money you're getting for them. Play a tight game against them, and Florida missing their top center is a pretty big deal. And Forsling logs so much minutes on the back end with Ekblad too. So I'll probably lean Boston here.
Rico's riding with me. EBR, baby. Go ahead, Occupancy.
Yeah, for sure. It was a really good game on paper. Both teams really fun to watch. I don't have a side. I have noticed, though, that 3 of the last 5 matchups between these teams have gone past 60 minutes. So this could be a draw
season. Sorry.
Yeah. So I think this could be a draw candidate here. I really don't have anything on the side. Yeah.
Pretty awesome to see Reinhart with the 5-0 there in the goals column. Pasternak hopefully going to be another 50 goal scorer. He's sitting at 44. We could see Panarin. He's at 43. And Philip Forsberg is he's got an outside shot. He's at 39. Nathan McKinnon's at 44. He could get it. But that's probably it. I would really love to see Panarin take a run at it too. That'd be pretty cool. Getting shippy at the end here. Connor Garland and Nicholas Waugh getting into it. Love those guys. Let's get into Flyers Rangers. Flyers are a plus 160 road dog. Rangers been playing some good hockey despite all the people being out for them. Who do you like, Pearlo?
Oh man, I mean, value-wise, you got to go with the Flyers at plus 160. I mean, that's just disrespectful to say that you're getting plus 160 on the road against Rangers. I know the Rangers are a very good team, but the Flyers, they always stay close and they keep up with just about everybody in every game, and they give it everything they got every single game. I'm not saying I'm taking them, but I don't like to take it's just a value play. Like, I think Philadelphia can do it. This is a team that seems to be able to find it. This is a team that seems to be able to find a way in situations where most teams won't find a way. I would take. I don't know if I'm going to go to the window with it, but at that price, I got to look at the Flyers. That's what I got to say about that. As far as total is concerned, if the Flyers are going to win, this is going to be an under. It's not going to be an over. So if you're thinking the Flyers, I would take the Flyers and the under. I don't think they're outscoring the Rangers at any time, and I don't even think they're going to try. They'll try to keep it low and low and go, as I like to call it. So maybe, again, another game where the under is probably the best play, but the Flyers are probably the value play. Not sure.
I didn't even give you the line. I'm so sorry. I didn't even give you the line. I apologize.
I'm sure it's a 6. I'm sure it's a 6. I'm sure it is.
Okay. Yeah, I should have given it to you though.
Yeah.
By the way, the Panthers Bruins was a 6, and the Rangers Flyers is a 6. You're correct, Pearlo.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's per DraftKings. Again, not everything is the same per website. We try to do that. We're fortunate because I'm in a state where they don't have gambling, but I'm in the U.S. Pearlo and Rico are in Canada, and of course we have Occupancy here. He's in California, and he can get all the Vegas betting lines and stuff too. It's a little easier. Rico, go ahead and give us your thoughts on Flyers Rangers. Oh, and by the way, Brandon Saad did come back and he scored a goal to tie it. Thank you for letting me know.
Draw season.
We're 1-1 now. Now, see, here's the thing with Vegas. They're just not potting goals because they played a heck of a defensive game. And in my mind, what I watched from this game before the show started, they pretty much dominated the pace of play and weren't really giving the Blues much of anything. And it's understandable with the Blues being down to 9 forwards. Well, they're back to 10 now with Saad being back in. But also, I neglected to say today was Nick Leddy's 1,000th game played. So they awarded Nick Leddy. He became the 49th active player to have over 1,000 games played. We're going to see that accomplishment again in 3 games for the Washington Capitals for John Carlson. So John Carlson, their defensive stalwart. Anyway, Rico, you like to draw here with the Flyers Rangers? Is that
no? I mean, 3rd game in 4 nights for the Flyers. The Rangers had Winnipeg, Boston, Florida. Now this game sandwiched in. Then they go to Colorado Thursday night as well too. So they're playing some pretty heavy hitters here. So I don't know if this is a bit of a look ahead spot. It shouldn't be because it's a divisional game. But I mean, it's hard to get bet against the Rangers on home ice just because of the matchups and stuff they get with that top line and Panarin. And if Philly starts taking penalties, they start coming at the Rangers a little bit. I mean, you're probably going to have to pay a price for New York, but I know they're going to Colorado and they're going to Arizona after. So I'm with Pearlo here. I'd probably, if the price is right, I might just take a little bit of a flyer on Philly here. No pun intended. I know as the Rangers are heading to Colorado and Arizona, so sometimes
somebody's not rooting for you in the chat, Rico.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna eat my words anyway.
The Commander-in-Chief is chiming in from Seattle, Washington right now.
They're dead.
Against them, Rico.
Perfect. Then she could just bury me in the chat tomorrow night after the Rangers win anyway. So.
No,
I think we're trying to find a way to take Philadelphia because of the price, but deep down, you're probably going, this is the Rangers will probably.
It's men against boys. I mean,
Yeah,
it should be a Rangers win.
Here's the thing that worries me about the Rangers. One, it's most likely going to be quick, and he's been good this year, great, but not as of late as good as he was to start the year. And the Rangers are down Trouba, they're down Lindgren, and now they're down Gustafsson. They're down 3 of their top 6, or 3 of their top. I think Gustafsson was logging like top power play minutes for them too. So that's 3 key players for them that are out. And I'm not saying they have good defensive forwards and stuff like that, but I just wonder with the Flyers' sense of urgency, this is a miss. I like the plus 160 occupancy. Why don't you finish up?
Beard, you're sleeping on the couch tonight, by the way.
I mean, my wife is in another state, so I'm not. She's in Seattle, bro. Yeah, she's in Seattle. I'm not sleeping on the couch, Rico. Eat shit, buddy. No, but I'm just being honest about this game. If I was going to put money on it, if I didn't think it dry or whatever, I would take the Flyers just because of their sense. They have to win. If they lose this, I'm rooting for the Rangers. Are you effing kidding me? I want the Rangers to win this game huge because we will get to the reason why. Go ahead, Occupancy.
Yeah, just to recap, we were sitting here last week, and I don't want to speak for everybody, but I'm pretty sure a lot of us were saying Philly's fallen out. They had just lost games to Boston, Toronto, Tampa. They got shelled 7-0, and then only beat the Sharks. And we were looking at last Tuesday's card. I think it was either 3 of 4, maybe not all 4 of 4, was saying that the Flyers were going to fall out. And look what they did last week. They beat Toronto, they beat Boston, and they lost in overtime to Carolina. I'd say that's pretty good. So I think Flyers are dialed in. Do I really want to take them against the Rangers? Not for a full unit. With the way we handicap, this could be like, a half unit or a quarter unit type of thing for the Flyers. But one thing that I will look for is the Rangers to score and then get the Flyers at plus 1.5 at a nice even money price. You can get those if the team's down 1 or 2 and you think they're going to come back in game, you get the plus 1.5. If they win, okay. If they lose by 1, you're good. So not loving this couple games later in the slate, that I like the full unit type stuff. But this one, maybe small on Philly and look for a live handicap.
Nice. Hey, and Occupancy's name is now scrolling in our chat. He is at 0 Occupancy. Okay. So that makes sense for you guys that are following. He's got his name on the thing. Let's move on to Hurricanes Pens. That is a 6.5. It's in Pittsburgh. I think just from my perspective, Pittsburgh's a home dog plus 160. Yeah, I would bet the Hurricanes plus 1.5. The Hurricanes are going to straight beat the lifelessness out of this team that's out of the playoffs. If I hear another national broadcast talk about how they're in it, you are off your bleeping rocker. They're going to need to win their last 12 and have everybody else in front of them fall in their face. That's literally what's going to happen. I don't know what the odds are, but I would bet a lot of money that it isn't going to happen. So, got a little locked in on the other game. You love to see it. Okay. Yep, for sure. Subhuman Gaucho. Let's start with Occupancy on this one. Where are you going on this Hurricanes Pens?
Yeah, like I don't think Pittsburgh really going to keep it close. Carolina's too regimented to kind of take nights off. I don't think that's really in Rod's locker room speech is, just coast out there. Let's get to the playoffs. I just don't think, that's kind of what's going on there. So could be a Gensel prop kind of game too. Shear's lighting up, but it's a little too rich for my blood for the money line with a minus side there. So probably ends up being a pass.
All right. I love it. Go ahead, Rico.
yeah, Pittsburgh just came back from Colorado, so they got a day, and then they got to play Carolina here. I know Carolina's played a million games in a million nights. I don't think they've had more than one day off between games, and it feels like about 2 weeks now. So,
Vegas scored in overtime. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. Vegas in overtime, final 2-1.
Right.
Nice.
Well, I got the draw.
Yes.
Jonathan Marchessault is your goal scorer. That game is final. Vegas Golden Knights, and that's probably the nail in the coffin for the Blues. Honestly, maybe, but that was like a huge victory for the Vegas Golden Knights. What?
No, that was a huge point. I think Buchnevich had like a breakaway or a penalty shot or something in overtime.
Yeah, it's his penalty shot missed. Buchnevich 30 seconds in.
Oh,
I missed that, but and then Marchessault scores. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, as the world turns, man, so do the days of our lives.
Yeah, I mean, Vegas got to get there. I mean, they got to get Hurl even in the lineup. At some point, you want that guy to play a couple. We're down to 10, 12, 13 regular season games. I don't think that many games left. Like, you got to get this guy in the final 10. It's probably good that they're playing for their playoff lives in Vegas.
Hey, toss it in, man. 14-1 for Vegas to win the cup right now.
Oh, Darkness is in the chat. Payne, our diehard, loyal St. Louis Blues fan. Darkness, appreciate you. Yes, I understand Payne. I get you. Pearlo, go ahead and give us your thoughts on this Hurricanes Penguins, and then we'll jump to the game that our friend Subhuman Gaucho wants to talk about.
Well, Rico just brought it up. I mean, they just played. It's ridiculous. And I know we had this conversation on Twitter where I said that Toronto can't drop that game with a Carolina team playing 6 games in 9 nights. This does not happen. They're now going to play. This would be, 2 nights later? No, this is 3 nights later.
Yeah,
so
they've had some time off.
They got a little bit of rest here after playing, but they played a crap ton.
And they're playing a team that choked a 4-0 lead in Colorado.
So it's 7 games in 10 nights.
Yeah, they played a lot.
So yeah. I agree with you. I mean,
or 7 and 11.
Pittsburgh coming off an Eastern road trip kind of evens that out quite a bit. And this Carolina team is obviously extremely fit. And it doesn't surprise you with Brind'Amour as their coach. Because,
that was my argument to you, Pearlo.
Yeah, I know. But it's just, you can't lose. Okay, anyways, I don't want to go down there. But I don't think Carolina is going to have the legs to like blow out the lights offensively here. Pittsburgh, if you play them right, it's pretty easy to shut them down. Let's face it.
So you're leaning towards the under, is what you're saying.
I am totally leaning to the under here. Yeah, big time. Yeah.
Okay.
I like the under in that game. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Okay, you just took 5 hours to get to you're taking the under. That's no big deal.
Nah.
Red Wings Capitals, the game, our friend here. So here's a Subhuman Gaucho says, very much looking forward to seeing the Wings versus Cap games. I was there live for the game last month. Yeah, the Wings kicked the crap out of the Caps too. This is in DC. There's no favorites. The over-under is 6. This is the most. I think this game is so important for both teams. It's going to be a playoff game, and I think it's gonna look a lot like that 1-0 Red Wings Nashville game where Nashville won with the fight. Philip Forsberg and Mo Seider. You have that on the bingo card for scraps, by the way. That was a playoff intense game this weekend. I know I watched it. I don't know where you guys were at on that one, but I think the Wings have looked right again with Larkin back. Caps are down Wilson, but honestly, I liked how they played against Winnipeg. They just hung in there for the first 2 periods. Again, they were on a back-to-back after that 7-6 barn burner with Carolina. So I was not surprised they were a little bit on their heels. Plus the TJ Oshie ceremony they did against Winnipeg. So you're standing around for 17 minutes. So thank God there won't be a 1,000-game ceremony on this one. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not picking a winner here. I mean, you guys know where my heart lies, but the Wings have been out of the playoffs a long time too. So Sub Hamagucho's with me. It's definitely going to be the under, I think, too. I wouldn't be surprised. Pearlo, go ahead. Start it off since, you go ahead. You start off on Wings Caps.
Well, I'll go with where your heart. I'll go with where your heart is. I think Spencer Carberry is one of the finest coaches we've seen for a very long time. This team shouldn't even be close to here, honestly. On paper, this team shouldn't be close to where it is. Also,
I won't disagree.
And it's not just Carberry. Ovechkin has been a boss in this season. Okay, he didn't have his points, but he has actually played a complete team game this year like I have never seen. In fact, I think Carberry's
you have. You have. You saw it in the 2018 Stanley Cup.
Well, yeah. With Trotz, that was fantastic as well. But I mean, he didn't get the goals this year because he was giving up his spots. It's like Carberry said, look, everybody's thinking we're going to pass it to you, so we're not going to. And he did it. And he did what the coach told him to do. That's what I see from that. I think you see a lot of leadership from Ovechkin and a damn good coach. And I don't see it from Detroit. I don't see that leadership from Detroit in this spot. I think they're going to fade. I think they're going to buckle here, where I think that Washington is showing to be a team that is able to win at the right time. A lot of people, they're making fun of Washington for being minus 30 as far as goals for and against, because if they lose big. But when they win, it's always that tight win, and they've been doing it all year. And I think they do it here. I like Washington. I like Washington quite a bit here, actually.
Thank you, Pearlo. I love it. Rico, go ahead, my man. Or you're muted, Rico. You're muted.
Yeah, sorry. This feels like an NBA play-in game, man. It's like somebody's gonna win this game, and they're gonna make it to the playoffs and probably get bounced or whatever. But yeah, I mean, after that 8-3 Detroit win, this is gonna tighten up. It's gonna be a low-scoring game. I mean, I don't know how Washington's doing it, man. They're doing it by beating the Jets 3-0. They're doing it by not giving up anything defensively. They're doing it by Charlie Lindgren taking Kemper's net. I mean, Ovechkin is just a beast. I don't know where he found all this energy, but it's so wicked to watch, man. I fucking love this guy when he's playing at the top of his game. So, I mean, down the middle, I don't know, man. Connor McMichael's their top line center, and he's going up against Dylan Larkin. You got Patty Kane. You got so much on Detroit side too. I mean, their goaltending is a lot better in Washington, so I trust that, and I trust that they're not going to want to get into another heated back and forth game where it's going to be 8-3. I mean, I love the Wings, and I'm probably going to bet on them because I don't want to cheer against them. But man, this is going to be probably a draw play for me because I know it's going to be so low scoring. But I don't know, man. This is tough to pick a side here. I mean, Washington at home is going to come out. So if I were to take a side, I'd probably go with the Caps here just because they're going to be alive and Ovechkin's going to be banging around. And, Sonny Milano's day-to-day too. I know he's been scoring goals lately.
Yeah,
so keep an eye on
he's
him.
hurt again. He had a hat trick like a couple games ago against Carolina. I just not to interrupt here, but I actually think this is an opportune time for Max Pacioretty to show up. He's looked good at times, but we need to see him step his game up. Go ahead and finish your thoughts, Rico, and then we'll pass it over to Occupancy.
No, I'll take the Caps probably, and then if Detroit wins, I'll be happy either way.
Okay, go ahead, Occupancy. Occupancy, you're muted as well. We're having a mute. Libby 2.0, what's going on?
There we go. Okay, this game is really important on the slate. It's one of my favorite games on the slate for a couple of reasons. I don't need to go into the whole West Coast road trip, but I think that was really important for the team. What happened to them in Edmonton to come out and get 3 tough wins in the Northwest was huge for them. They came back, got shelled by the Leafs, and then tightened it back up. The barn burner Friday. I don't know if you guys were watching that game or not, but I had it on the radio and the iPad, and that was one of the best games of the season. I mean, it had everything. It really did. Scoring left and right, just lead change. How many lead changes were in that game? But anyway, I
Yeah.
don't want to. It was
You talking about Cavs Carolina?
Yeah, Friday night barn burner. Yeah. That game was awesome. It's like one of my favorite games on for sure for the season. But in this one, look, we know what teams we like. We know we got our hearts and everything. But before I'm just saying in the chat too.
Yeah, you're all right. Let's just keep going on like it doesn't fucking exist.
Yeah. But
it's fine. Just keep marching on. Is your train of thought broken, Occupancy?
No. I was gonna tell you. This is what I was gonna tell you. I was gonna max bet the Caps. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna put 2.5 units on it and call it a day, but I stopped because I said to myself, I can't trust the team with Kemper. I'm sorry, and I don't know what's going on with him this time. Around this time, but honestly,
Charlie Lindgren's gonna be starting against the Red Wings. I'll bet you a zillion.
And if he is, then I'll be backing Washington.
Yeah. But Darcy Kemper is not getting back in net unless it's a back-to-back.
Well, I'm glad then.
Yeah. It ain't happening, bro. And then that's the way they've been doing it. There is no mistake in Washington. Charlie Lindgren is the starter, and he has been the starter for the season.
Right, because I was on the Caps on Friday night, and Kemper kind of made us sweat a little bit, and then that shootout was great. Lindgren looked sick. He looked sick in the shootout too. He was going 1-for-1 with Kochetkov. Deep into the shootout, 6-7 rounds. That was very legit. So for me, it's a Washington all the way. Detroit's been playing better, but Washington's 4 out of 5 right now. They're getting it together at the right time. So let's go Caps.
Yeah. Did you say this is John Carlson Stalden's game?
Yeah, this won't be John Carlson Stalden's game. Okay. It's like 3 games from now. So it'll be it'll be whoever they play 3 games from now. I'm sorry I don't have this schedule in front of me. All right. Let's jump right into Maple Leafs hosting the Devils. Devils are plus 124. This is still a very intriguing game to me. I'm gonna definitely be peeking in on this one because it's a half hour off. It's a 7:30 start time, so it'll be offset from these other earlier games. I mean, we have a wagon of games tomorrow, guys. I love how the Devils are playing, man. I also love how the Leafs are playing. So I don't have a dog in the fight in this one. This one could feel like a draw. The over-under in that is 6.5. I think that's probably not unfair. Why don't you start this one off, Occupancy? Just we'll go back in reverse order.
Sure.
What do you think here?
Yeah, look, who put on Kakkonen's jersey yesterday and played for him? Who put on the Kakkonen jersey and got in the crease on that one?
They're getting good goaltending from Jake Allen and Kakkonen. It makes you wonder if they would have made a move for a goalie earlier, they might be in a playoff team, which is kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah. I mean, Devils, I mean, aside from I don't know what happened in Ottawa. Happily married with that one, but it's one of those things where
dude, how did the Oilers shit the bet against Ottawa? We didn't talk about that at all.
The Oilers, I don't know, maybe Knobloch, I don't know, I really don't know, but for this game, it's probably going to end up being a pass, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not. I can't get a read.
All right.
Can't get a good read on it.
So sorry. Okay, Rico, go ahead. Just take it because we're not going to be gaining our composure here. Pearlo, just go with your pick for the Leafs and Devils. I'm so sorry.
I think it's going to come down to goaltending, and I'll take Jake out. I think it's probably going to be if Samsonov is in, then I'm going to go the Devils, and if Wall is in, I'm going to go the Leafs. Pretty simple there. I think Jake Allen will be in for the Devils, and he has a hate on for Toronto coming out of Montreal. Yeah, and he's got a lot to prove going into I believe it's a contract year.
It is. Well. It's a contract year, so,
yeah, and he's got an opportunity here to have a pretty decent team in front of him to really make himself look good with the fact that they haven't had good goaltending all year. So he can come in and look pretty good here. But if Wall is in net, that kid is just like his name says. He is one hell of a goaltender. If I don't think it even matters that he's young. Like if Toronto's going to go far, Wall could be the guy to do it. So if it's Samsonov in, I'll take the Devils. If it's Wall, I take Toronto. Because besides that, I think this is like even Steven as far as two teams playing against each other.
Wall looked unbelievable against Carolina. That game could have been out of control. He looked really good. Rico.
No, I don't mind. I don't mind New Jersey here just because they feel like they still got something to play for. Marner's still out. Leafs are switching lines. They're just seem to trying to find stuff that kind of works for them. But I mean, that Carolina start to the game, Carolina got going, but then the Leafs kind of turned it up a bit. And Samsonov's not as hurt as he was made out to be, but I think you might see Woll here against Jake Allen. I mean, Jake Allen's familiar with the Leafs as well too. I don't know if I see this as a run and gun high scoring game, to be honest with you. I see Toronto just trying to mold their team into playing a little bit better defensively now that, you know, they're mixing up lines and they're just trying to get a little structure to their game. But I mean, you're probably
they now have the second coming of Brendan Shanahan in the lineup and Bobby McMahon too.
Yeah, I mean, Edmonton's there. You know, I think they want to focus a little bit more defensively. I think he's probably getting in people's ear and stuff as well. And you know, this is how the structure we got to play, and by just not telling people, but just showing it on the ice and just being a little bit more physical. And I think the Leafs just got to mold themselves into a little bit of a different team if they want to make a deep run. So I don't see this game being a ton high scoring, to be honest with you. So I'll probably take New Jersey here, maybe in like a 3-1, 3-2, maybe 4-2 game. But I could totally see the Leafs winning. But on a Tuesday night in Toronto, when New Jersey's coming in and they still have something to play for and they're going to be running and gunning, I mean, the Leafs are going to have to tame this game down, or else it's going to be 9-5, 8-4, 8-6 type thing. So I could probably see this game being a little tighter than people think. But if you're getting money on New Jersey, I'd probably take it there.
Yeah. Okay. Let's jump over to Golden Knights Preds. Golden Knights are actually a road dog, plus 110. That's a big game for them. They need that game. Over under 6.5. Man, I like the under all day on this. Uh-oh. Pearlo, what do you like here? Gold Knights Preds, with the Gold Knights being a road dog, plus 110, over under 6.5.
Yeah, the Gold Knights are on a back-to-back, and they don't have Hill, so it's going to be what's that? What's
Paterka.
Thompson? Paterka. Oh, is Thompson in tonight? Was Thompson in tonight?
Yeah. So okay. It's going to be Paterka. It's going to be Paterka, a really tough spot for Paterka.
Patera, I think. Patera.
Yeah, Patera. Not Paterka. Patera. Yeah. Really tough spot for Vegas in that way because that young kid. This is a huge game. He could do fantastic, but his AHL numbers are not all that great either, and Nashville's just playing out of their freaking minds right now. I think I have no choice but to go with Nashville on the money line here. I think it's just too much to ask for Vegas to go on a back-to-back. I think Nashville's coming off an Eastern road trip, but they don't seem to have any bad spots, and
they're just dominating.
I think they're just dominating everybody. When they're playing like they have a belief that they are the best team in the league. Every time I watch them play, it just looks like they believe they're the best team in the league, and that's it. And it doesn't even matter what's on paper. Once you got that kind of belief, you can beat anybody. And if you think you're the best team in the league, you think you're going to be dialed in to go against the champions. Yeah, I like Nashville here.
Yeah, awesome. St. Martin, Nashville went over Detroit 1-0 last time. Yep, that was a close game. Yep. Rico, who do you like here? Gold Knights.
Yeah, this game would be tight. I know. I would think probably Nashville first period puck line. I would probably take them coming out and setting the pace here. Pearlo will probably let in a couple. I mean, Nashville's still on that unbeatable in regulation streak. So if they can do this and take care of this game, then they're going to Arizona to play the Yotes after this. So and then it's a showdown on the weekend with the Avalanche. So this is a huge confidence building game for Nashville to keep that confidence going. And if they run through all these teams that they've beaten in this winning streak and they're finding their game and they know how to beat these teams and going into the playoffs, they're not going to be afraid to play anybody. I mean, Saros is playing out of his mind. Their defensive game, their structure is amazing to see Nashville play the way they play, man. They'll beat you like 5-2 or they'll beat you 1-0 like they did to Detroit, depending how you want to play them. And at home, that crowd is going to be unbelievable. That's going to be the difference in this game. I'm definitely taking Nashville in that game. I'll probably take them even puck line, but I'll take the first period Nashville in the full game puck line in case you don't get the odds on the money line or maybe even in regulation.
Go ahead, Occupancy. Give us your Gold Knights Preds.
Yeah, I mean, since canceling the U2 concert, I think they moved to 16-0-2 or some, so that's the number I recently saw. So, what else can we say? Nashville's just unbelievable right now. They're playing one of the best hockey in the league right now. Would I step in front of them, with the Knights and Hill and a healthy blue line? Maybe, but am I going to step in front of them with Patera off a back-to-back? Probably not. So it's just how do you back Nashville here? I think Rico was saying that you could take them -0.5 in the first period. You could take them in regulation, or if you want to do it on the money line, you can do it there too. I wouldn't even hate the team total over. Sometimes we get low scoring game in one. The next game is goes over. So no, I mean ultimately I'll probably end up having a Nashville ticket on my card.
Yeah, don't hate it. Mr. Pearlo Wisdom, go ahead.
Well, I already said I
oh, you did. Rico, we didn't get, but we'll just move on to the next game then. Oilers Jets. Go ahead, Pearlo, kick off Oilers Jets. That's going to be a great game. Where are you at with that one?
Well, I think I mentioned this before that I thought this might be like a soft road trip for the Oilers. They've been going balls out, and so I thought I think that might just keep rolling here. I think I would look towards the Jets. I think they're having a little vacay on this road trip. What the heck are you guys going on about?
I don't know, man. Rico and I, we're going to have to end the show early. I'll tell you right now. We're going to skip the Flames Blackhawks game. We might skip the last 5 games. The only game that has anything to do with playoffs, honestly, would be the Avs. They're going to win. They're going to dismantle the Habs. And then the Sharks-Stars game, that's going to be an interesting game. The Stars tend to not play great. Abby, that's awesome news. And by the way, thanks for popping in. We talked about Bruins-Panthers at the beginning of the show. You can rewind it now. You'll tell us. We won't be laughing a lot in the chat. So you'll just have to check it out. Abby is a real person. I know Abby, regular in the Hot Take Hockey community. It's good to see you, Abby. Big Bruins fan. I believe University of Notre Dame alum. Bruins. It's going to be a great game, man. Bruins-Panthers. We're looking forward to it. Yeah, Pasta looks good this year, man. Hopefully, I like to see him get 50.
Like, does Pasternak hit a Hart Trophy one year? You know, you got to think a guy like that should be able to get one during his career. It's like Kucherov. Like, there's like McKinnon hasn't gotten one. It's like, man, like line up, man. Is it going to be McDavid every year? Or?
Yeah. I don't think so. I think we're seeing that this year. And then Matthews won it the year before, right? So Oilers, Jets, Rico, what do you think on this one? No favorite, by the way, and the over-under is 6.5. No favorite.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the Oilers are taking this road trip seriously after what happened in Toronto. They woke up a little bit in the third.
I think they got some internal problems.
Yeah, I mean, there's something going on with Kane there and stuff too, isn't it? I mean, you got other guys there that don't have good track records either. So, I mean, well, you want to care what, or you want to share what you're talking about, or you want to talk about it?
No, I think you hit the highlights.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, the Jets are having a hard time scoring right now. You know who they miss in the lineup is Gabe Riardi. I know, just balancing that lineup, you got new guys like Toffoli, Monahan. You're trying to just get guys meshing together, and the offense isn't coming from those guys. So, I mean, I'll take the Jets because they're at home here, and the Oilers just got off a stinker to Ottawa. So, I mean, I could see the Oilers going in there and winning 5-1, but you're probably going to see Hellebuck in that. And the Jets are going to want to put together a little bit better effort. So.
I'm ready to see the Jets play a good game, man. They've had a couple rough ones. They looked absolutely dog shitty against the Islanders. They made the Islanders look like a playoff team again. I almost started believing in the Islanders again. That's how bad the Jets played. So, and I just think, I have not. I mean, when I was watching that game, I didn't like the Oilers at all in that game against Ottawa. They got outplayed. No, it's not adult only, Andrew, and we'll ban you guys if you sex chat in the chat. So please don't do it. I don't want to ban anybody. Just chill out and talk hockey. And if you have any gambling questions, that's good. That's pretty much what this show is. So if you're here for any other reason, you know, you probably aren't interested. We just talk hockey. Yeah, I'm excited to watch this game. This is one of those must watch. Pearlo, where are you coming out here on your hometown Edmonton Oilers? And what do you think of their game? And maybe some internal strife? Would it sway you from taking them here, or?
Well, I had a gut that it was going to be a soft road trip for them because they're in the playoffs now. It just felt like they were going to go out and kind of enjoy life a little bit on this road trip and weren't necessarily going to take it all that seriously. However, I still bet on them against Ottawa, so I didn't really listen to my gut. But I think I'll stick with that against Winnipeg here. I think Winnipeg will probably take this game. I don't think I'm going to have any money on it, though, because both of them are not in good form. So this could go either way. I don't know. Maybe a draw, but I really don't like this game is what I'm saying. So, but if I had to, I would take Winnipeg.
Yeah. Okay. Did everybody get to occupancy? Did you get to talk about this game?
I don't have much on this one. I think all in all, it's gonna be a good one. Even money on both sides. I don't see an edge too much, so I probably actually pass on this one as well.
Avi says, I bet on Edmonton to choke a 3-1 lead. So annoying. Sens are sneaky a little, but come on. Yeah. Sorry about that, Avi. St. Martin, good to see you, by the way. Oilers, who they play, Vegas or Kings? Well, right now it'll be the Kings. Kings ain't losing, and Vegas can't catch them. So we're going to see. I assume Vegas and LA play a couple more games, though. Final game of the year for the Caps is the Flyers. I know that one. So that could be interesting, too. All right, so the next 5 games are Flames, Blackhawks. I don't really care. Canadians, Avalanche. The only thing I would want to know on that one is that I don't know where you guys are on that. I just want to see Nate Dogg continue that home streak. I think he easily does that against them. By the way, if they had like a comeback player of the year award in the NHL, Matt Duchene would get my vote. So would Jonathan Drouin. Jonathan Drouin had what he did to Letang in overtime was awesome. And that guy, I think we forget how fast a skater he is. And he's having a good year, man. He's going to have like 60 points, which is awesome for him, man. I mean, that's, if you'd have told me, and remember, we talked about that. There was, I think the Connor Brown thing kind of got a little loud because McJesus, everything, he kind of carries the weight of the NHL right now. But like, it really went under the radar, Colorado getting Drouin, and he's really had a great year for them. So pretty impressive. And then Blue Jackets, Coyotes, literally, who gives a shit? Ducks, Kraken is another, oh my God, I'm not going to watch any of these late games tomorrow, which will be fine. And then Stars, Sharks, I'll have that one on the background just to see how the Stars are playing. But I don't know about you guys. Is there any one of those 5 games you want to talk about before we move on to final thoughts and end the show?
I'm not going to overthink. I'm not going to overthink the Colorado game. I'm taking the puck line, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the way they started against Pittsburgh in the last game, they're going to not want to get into any type of bad habits here. So, and Montreal's walking into a slaughterhouse there.
No.
Yeah, they did get Martin St. Louis back, which, by the way, we didn't really talk about that. I hope all is well with him. I mean, like, I know Bonus is gone again from the Winnipeg Jets. I feel like that might be part of it, man. They've just faced a lot of adversity. So, Rico and Occupancy, were there any of these other games you wanted to talk about specifically, or props, or before we go on to final thought?
Not for me. Nothing in the Blackhawks, Flames, or Avalanche, Canadians. I'd be interested in the Ducks on the money line. They've been playing pretty tight with Dostal in, and I think this is a crazy price. Minus 200 for the Kraken, who have kind of lost all footing here. So if it's Dostal confirmed, I would. That's a nice plus price for Anaheim late there. Arizona, Columbus, Josh Doan, I believe, Shane's kid.
Yeah,
got called up.
Yep. Thank you for. Yeah, we didn't talk about that, but yes, absolutely. This is his first NHL call up, I think.
Yeah, so this could be an Arizona money line type of spot with the prop, with his kid's prop. Sure, you get a good price for his goal prop in that one, and then that's pretty much it for not a whole lot, just a couple things at that late one.
Yeah, I don't mind Anaheim there. I mean, Seattle hasn't scored more than 2 goals since like March 12th. Like, they just can't score. They lost 8 in a row. I mean, too bad for those fans that pay an enormous amount of money. I think it's
but they'll have a high pick, Rico, which I think is more beneficial for them at this point. Yeah. They could be in the Macklin Celebrini thing. They're that bad. So like, if they get a top 5 pick out of it this year, that's not a bad thing for them. By the way, the kid I love, the defensive forward too. This kid I think is going to be the next Patrice Bergeron when undrafted. Played at Northeastern, Midicarian, French Canadian kid. Yeah, the Stars signed him. He's going to be good. I've been saying this. Unsigned, get him, Caps. Defensive center that can score, just smart hockey IQ. And he was the captain at Northeastern. Watch some of his highlights. The kid is a stud. I'm going to be a fan of his. Dude, it's so hard not to love the Stars and how well they just draft and develop so well. Yeah, Rico, go ahead. You're on the Anaheim Ducks here. I agree with you. Was there anything else before we go into final thoughts?
Calgary probably puck line Chicago. Chicago's coming off that road trip, so I don't think they'll have any interest in competing in this game. Colorado puck line first period. Anaheim, Seattle. Yeah, I don't mind Anaheim at that price. Seattle at minus 200. That's a joke. I don't mind Arizona Coyotes at the mullet. They'll always play well in front of the home fans, so you get them at a decent price against Columbus. In Dallas, San Jose has some history lately, I think, against Dallas too. I mean, Dallas won like 7-6. It feels like a couple of weeks ago, which was a wild and crazy game against San Jose. So it feels like you take some Dallas props like Jamie Benn, Johnston, and yeah, there's a few of them. Sagan's back in the lineup too. So Dallas has been stressing a little more defensive type games. Like they want to play a little more defensively and not run and gun, but that's up to the players on the ice sometimes too. So I think take some Dallas player props in that game as well. Mackenzie Blackwood is going to get peppered.
Yeah, you don't know the half of it, Hot Take Hockey. John, thanks for popping up, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah,
okay, yeah. Final. Go ahead, Pearlo.
One point about that Arizona game. The last game that Arizona played, Clayton Keller lost his shit. Broke his stick over. Like I haven't seen him do that his whole career. Like he looked frustrated as hell. And he's usually
that
pretty
was the Dallas
level
game, right? Though, right? That was a big game. They had IceCon there, Dave Portnoy.
Yeah.
Oh my God! They all had the over too. Remember? They had the over,
just like so. I understand why he was pissed because it was probably the most watched Arizona game this year. There were a lot of eyes on it, and they gave that game to Dallas. Honestly, they were doing well. Yeah, I'm with you, Pearlo. You're hitting the nail on the head.
So for that, with that in mind, I mean, I think like that's you want to see that from a Keller, and you want to see him take over the team, and you want to see that frustration. And I think they're going to come in with that frustration, and I think they're going to ruin Columbus. I think Arizona is going to absolutely destroy Columbus in that game. So that all the other games, whatever, it doesn't matter. But that one, I think Arizona, I'll take them on the puck line even. I'll take them big time. I think they're going to ruin Columbus.
Okay. All right. Let's jump into
lube, sandpaper finish.
Let's jump into final thoughts. We didn't talk about all 12 games. But we talked about the ones that really matter. I'm super excited. I mean, obviously, I'm going to have on my screen Red Wings, Caps, definitely Devils, Leafs, Penguins, Hurricanes, Flyers, Rangers. I got to have 5 screens going for this. Bruins, Panthers, that game I'm interested in too. That one I'll pay probably the least, most attention to because it has the least playoff implications. But the Bruins and Panthers are fighting each other for points too. Yeah. You're not helping Hot Take Hockey. You're just making it worse. I'm just telling you. You're just making it worse. You're not doing us any favors, John. It's kind of fucked up, man. Like, do I do this to you? Do I come in and do I hand grenade in the middle of your show? No, I'm just kidding, man. Like, yeah, we've had a good laugh today about all that. Anyway. As I was saying, Red Wings, Caps, so excited for that game. I keep saying this, but as a fan, all you want is your team in the mix, and it's just been awesome. And like if they miss, oh well, they gave it the old college try. Like you want your team in the thick of it, and just you just want You just want to be excited and have games that are meaningful in April and stuff. So I appreciate it. That's my final thought. Go ahead, Pearlo.
My final thought is like I'm just getting way excited for the playoffs this year. I think this is going to be some of the best playoffs we've seen in a very long time. If you look at just about every series, you can make a case for both teams for the most part, especially in the West. And I think it's going to be unbelievable this playoffs. Some of the I can't remember the last time that I was trying to put my playoff who's going to win together, and I really was like on the fence about a lot of it. So I'm loving it. It's going to be awesome, and I can't wait for it to happen. This is an exciting season.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to let Occupancy go. And Rico can finish this fucking debacle of his show.
Yeah. Appreciate it. My final thoughts are pretty limited to tomorrow's slate right now. I'm really stoked for this Detroit-Washington game. Like many of us, I'm really stoked for the Flyers game. Yeah, there's a lot of good games here in the early slate that are meaningful as was discussed. So it'll be interesting to see what teams really finish this out strong and get into the next round here. So like Pearlo, I'm really stoked for the playoffs.
Okay, Rico, if you can get your shit together for 30 seconds.
Okay,
Go ahead.
I'll tell you one thing. One thing I wish for is Philly to get the hell out of the playoffs, and I want Washington and Detroit. I want Washington in that third spot in the Metro, and I want Detroit to make the playoffs. And I'll be happy if Philly just leaves. I mean, it wasn't their year. They're not going to do anything in the playoffs. So that'll be my one wish, and that'll be my final thought. I want to see Ovi in the playoffs, but I also love Detroit, so I want to see the Wings in there too. So I think New Jersey, I mean, I could care less right now. So Islanders, I mean, I'd love to see them in there because it's Occupancy's team too, but I don't know if he's as confident about them moving on after the first round. But I'd love to see Ovi in the playoffs. I think that's my final thoughts. No hope for Crosby this year, so Ovi in the playoffs. Go.
Hot Take Hockey says, I'd be down for Rangers Flyers first round. Yeah, I got you. I actually think the Rangers could be the number one overall in the East, honestly. They're still fighting for it, and they're playing well. Vancouver pulled the goalie, and they have scored. It's 3-2 with 2:53 left to go. So we have a game here left in the final minutes of this Canucks game. If I get enough, we want you to stay on and we will I will stay on for the remainder of this game. I can't believe I honestly didn't die of a heart attack during the filming of this show.
Oh my God.
I was laughing so hard. I had to come off this. Anyway, Hot Take says stay on. So we'll hang out and BS with you all for the last 2:45 of this game.
I'd want to see Torts in the playoffs. I that's the only reason I want to see Philly in the playoffs is Torts loses his mind in his tracksuit when every other coach in the league wears a 3-piece suit to the game. He's got his fucking jumpsuit on behind the bench, freaking out and losing his shit. And I mean, that's the only thing that would basically entice me to watch Philly in the playoffs, just because there'd be just cameos of him telling everybody to have the hell off and losing his shit. But,
no, I got you. I think Torch doesn't wear a suit anymore because he's just old and he's like doesn't give a shit. Because all I wear is comfortable clothing.
Same here, but he's not the oldest coach in the league, though.
Jacques Martin still putting on a 3-piece.
Jacques Martin's like 72. Jacques Martin is probably the oldest. Empty net, 144 left. The Canucks are in. They're him and the Kings. Boy, the Kings better not give this one up. This would be a bad one. They've kind of dominated this game. If they, Hurricanes Caps first round would be really awesome. We owe the Hurricanes after we won our Stanley Cup when now Edmonton Oiler. I'll just call him Jared Fogle.
Jared Fogle.
Yeah, for the
isn't that the Subway guy?
It is, but I hate that guy. He cheap shot it. He cross-checked TJ Oshie from behind at 5 feet away from the boards, put him in, he broke his collarbone, he missed that round. I guarantee we beat that team. But I love the Canucks. I love the Carolina Hurricanes fans. Love you, Caniacs. I'm rooting for you. I love Kuzi, man. I'm never gonna not be a Kuzi fan.
I got a wicked stat for you. I heard today Jake Gensel hasn't been on the ice for a goal against since he's been in Carolina.
Yeah, 15 goals on 4.
Yeah, how crazy is that?
Goals 4, and
that's cray-cray, as Pearlo would say. That's cray-cray, eh, Pearlo?
That's unbelievable. Yeah, that's a great stat. St. Martin said he had 25 to bet the under on the Canucks 5.5. Ooh, and it's 3-2 now, so you can't have another goal. All right,
we gotta We got to get a sports beard. That's cray shirt going on when we get some freaking merch going on there.
Yeah, when Rico's parents want to design it, we could do it.
Yeah, buddy. Let me know.
Yeah. Let's get going. No, we're not kidding. Rico's parents are going to do our shirts, man. What we're going to do.
Yeah, they got a full embroidery shop and everything. That's what they do. They got to get
that's
business.
cool. I'd rather embroidery. Dude, can they do like 3D letters and stuff? We can get all kinds of crazy stuff. You know, like if you order the picture of my...
They got silk screening. So they got the silk screening and they got the embroidery. So depending what you want, but they do all the hockey jerseys for our hometown hockey teams, our beer league teams.
Oh, we could have hockey jerseys made.
Oh, that's sick. Anything. Baseball jerseys, hockey jerseys, hats, you name it.
Mine would say beard, occupancy with the 0. Whatever you want on yours, Rico. You have such a great
Pearlo's got the 69 with the Oilers.
669. It will be hilarious, Pearlo.
With the Dave Semenko 69 and Pearlo on the front, and that's cray.
That's cray. Sports beard. That's cray.
33 sec 50. I got 50 seconds left. 3-2.
Yeah, I'm sweating the hell out of this because I got LA.
Yes, St. Martin has the under here, man. We got to root for our buddy who has the under.
All right, St. Martin, you got it.
Oh no! It almost went in.
I was
wanted the icing, but they didn't give it to him because he
got a penalty.
Oh, Canucks got a power play with 21 seconds.
Dowdy just freaking scooped him. Did you see that? Holy crap.
Yeah,
if you're gonna do a trip, if you're gonna trip somebody, that's the way to do it. Just scoop them right out.
I don't know why he did it. It was kind of pointless. It was kind of
pointless. Shout out to Anze Kopitar, 6 goals in his last 6 games.
Yeah, he's been house of fire, man. He would have been on the final 3, but like Ovechkin's at 8 points, 7 goals, and 1 assist. And by the way, Ovechkin has 1 less assist than Austin Matthews. Don't give me that garbage that the guy is washed. He's doing very good this year. He's gonna finish with 60 points.
That's
St. Martin says you have Kings and Vegas got good 2 picks. Okay, 14. They won the face-off. I don't know why you throw it back down to the point.
Oh, it's done. It's done, though.
Oh, it's over?
Yeah. I had LA, the draw, and St. Louis in the draw. So
I had the under in the St. Louis game. Vegas,
and you got the under. You got the under for this one, St. Martin.
And I had LA. Yeah. So I swept the board today.
That is awesome. That is why you should leave a like, subscribe. You could download us on Apple or Spotify, FFSN, NHL Nightly. Thank you so much. Final score 3-2 Kings. Appreciate all you. This was we had like almost 90 people between all the platforms. Thank you very much. And we'll see you later.